Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. If you take it seriously, you're redacted. Let's start the show. Hey,
what's up?
Hello and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. If you take it seriously, you're redacted. I'm your co-host, Doug Bennett.
And I'm your other co-host, Seth Nacho. How's it going, everybody? Doug, where are you? Where'd you go?
Whoa!
Whoa! He's a fucking floating head!
Absolutely. We got the Desert Frog camouflage on this, a Spotify and YouTube audio-visual podcast experience. If you want to just hear it, go down right there in the description below. And
yes.
If you're here on YouTube, you've missed your Spotify-exclusive audio-only content.
It's time to be a shill. Rate 5 stars on Spotify, like, and subscribe to the YouTube
Yeah,
video.
make sure that you hop over to Twitch. Mostly for this guy.
Okay,
Seth
well,
underscore Nacho 411. Type in the chat. He will talk to you.
I'll get to that later, okay? I was talking about for us right now for the podcast. I was like, go rate 5 stars on Spotify, hit that follow button, and on YouTube, like and subscribe.
Yeah, if you want to see some of the best reposts known to man, go to TikTok for this goblin ghoul.
On today's episode, we're going to take some Alfredo sauce, we're going to donkey punch my little brother, and we're going to get him to say
Say the word
on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe and motherfucking punch that subscribe button. Smash the like button. Now let's get into the video.
And, talking about punching people, how about Friday Fight Night?
Oh wow, yeah. What a night, you know.
Dude, it was crazy. It did. How much of the card did you watch?
I didn't really get to watch it.
Okay.
I was working, but I heard a lot and I did see a little bit. First of all, I want to say the fight before the actual title card fight, the two women.
Yeah.
Now that was a fight.
Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. What a fucking... I didn't know women could fight like that, to be honest with you. Every woman fight that I ever watched seemed like kind of like a diversion, a distraction, if you will.
Yeah.
Both of them ferocious fighters. Turns out, Irish bastard that she is, Katie Taylor kind of fights dirty.
Wow. Yeah, that fight was something. That was that should have been the title fight.
Oh, it was for 6 different titles, by the way.
Yeah, but I mean that should have been the headliner.
Yeah, the main event, I can give you that. But it was a title fight.
Yeah.
They were fighting for the WCA, the WBA. They were fighting for heavyweight, which both of them, and it rubbed me the wrong way. Amanda Serrano's trainers, in the post-match interview, the ring interview, they kept bagging on the fact that Amanda had to go up 30 pounds for that fight. And I'm like, you don't get to use that as an excuse if you chose to take the fight anyway. It's like going to Subway and complaining about the sandwich you got. My brother in Christ, you chose the fight.
You made the sandwich.
Yes.
You made it. But yeah,
But no, what was cool, and why I say that Katie Taylor, Irish though she is, that means I have to love her, because that's part of my heritage, but leans in a ridiculous amount, and then resulted on a 1/4-inch cut over Serrano's eye. There was 2 headbutts, one that everyone says
skin was coming back.
It was just, go look it up if you have a stomach for that.
That was pretty gross, yeah.
But
it was nasty.
A 1/4-inch wide right there, and one of the headbutts was accidental. Well, everyone agrees on that. Everyone also agrees that the second one was on fucking purpose. So that's kind of dirty pool, if you know what I'm saying. But
yeah,
what a fight that was.
That was a good fight. And then the fight after that, the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. What a snooze fest, dude.
Yeah, it was a
Tyson threw a couple punches in the first and second round, and after that, I don't think he threw a single punch.
Incorrect. No, there's no way that he threw 100 punches in 2 rounds and then didn't throw a single one for the other 6. He only, according to the scorecard, only threw 98 the whole time. So he definitely was not putting in work like a lot of people, myself included, wanted him to. And it was a boring fight for people who don't get into the nitty-gritty of fighting. It was a lot of really technical boxing. On both sides, by the way, and credit where it's due, Jake Paul knew that if he actually let Mike hit him really hard, he was going down. He fought kind of scared. The whole 8 rounds he was scared, even when it was clear that Tyson was tired. So it was boring for the casual, and I mean, we didn't see anything spectacular, but it was a lot of technically good boxing.
Oh, sure. Okay. If you say so, Doug.
It's not me saying this. I'm using somebody.
You're saying it right now. Your words.
I'm saying that people are saying it. I'm using somebody else's opinion right now.
I'm reporting.
I'm borrowing it. Yes, I'll give it back.
Here, take it back.
My personal opinion was, wow, fake and gay.
Wow, what a fight! You've never seen a fight like this before. 27-year-old man versus a 58-year-old. What a fight! Did you know that fight would have been illegal in every state except for the Texas?
Yeah, well, and it's
Because they're only allowed to have a 10-year age gap. in those fights.
it's a very womanly point to make that a fight could be illegal. It's not illegal to fight, like.
It's illegal to have like a proper boxing match, yeah.
Well, it's an exhibition match. It's like, it's not technically a proper. If we're gonna get into the technicalities, it wasn't a proper boxing match within the sport. Like, they put on an event, and the event happened to be 2 guys punching each other, or trying to.
Well, they didn't really
Trying to anyway.
Yeah, like, and then Netflix was just like a disaster the whole time. They're like buffering every 2 seconds
Yeah.
because so many people were trying to watch.
The only thing that didn't buffer was Mike Tyson's ass.
Was his beautiful cheeks in that jock strap.
Like, what are you doing? Out here, double cheeked up on a Thursday, sun's still out, hella ass.
Bro, you know Mike Tyson's gonna fight. The next fight he's gonna have is against the camera guy. He's like, that guy showed my cheeks. That was the only thing he showed. I'm gonna beat his ass next.
I genuinely hope that he doesn't fight again.
Right? Yeah. I mean, he's clearly retired.
So, but I'll also say, whatever else you want to say about its legitimacy as a boxing match, anything aside, never in history has something like that been done. A genuine geriatric former champion of the world, mind you, Golden Glove, Olympic gold medalist. Never has someone like that in the 6,000 years of human history gone ahead and said, you know what, I'm going to unretire and just prove that a young man can't put me down just yet.
And then he got put down by a young man.
He didn't get put down. There was no knockout.
Yeah, there was no
He
knockout.
lasted in the fight. He's still enough of a threat. Like I said, Paul fought scared the whole time. If you know how to read body language, you could tell that he didn't want. You didn't watch it. You can't sure me, buddy.
Sure, buddy.
Buddy.
Sure, buddy.
Buddy. Kid,
Okay, pal.
Small little toddler.
Hey, what's the big idea, huh, buddy?
Good lord.
I was.
But it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know? It was fun to
guess.
watch, and that's what I care about. That's the same reason that I love Trump. I mean,
You know,
maybe I don't agree with all of his politics, but boy, is he fun to watch.
I just talked about Mike Tyson's next opponent. Jake Paul's next opponent. They're gonna dig Muhammad Ali's body out of the grave so that he can fight Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, he's going to fight the Emperor of the Imperium, a multiple thousand.
What?
Yes. How dare you? Oh, you're in the middle of committing a theft, a crime. You don't even.
I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, he went into the trash lid of the 2-lid system.
I don't even. This is stupid. Anyway,
He twisted it, and it doesn't have threads on it.
Shut up, dude. Anyway, you were talking about something with like a little more substance, please.
Yeah, so his actual next opponent is the Emperor of the Imperium of Man, a multiple thousands years old corpse that's fused into the Golden Throne. Yeah.
Is this the Iron Throne?
The Adeptus Mechanicus is going to have to do Tech Priest chants so that he can lead the Imperium of Man against the Eldar and the Tau and the Slaaneshi and the Nurgle and I'm doing a big old fat 40K reference right here.
Okay, I see that. I'm not a big 40Ker, so
It's probably the only thing going in fantasy right now. We, as a fantasy fan, as a fantasy stalwart, we are being so let down by so many of the franchises we've come to know and love over the years.
I just saw a preview for a Lord of the Rings animated movie that has like a woman as the lead.
It doesn't exist, as far as I'm concerned.
Honestly, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, there's maybe one, and her name is escaping me right now because Lord of the Rings isn't exactly my shit, but I do love the books. Probably my favorite thing I own is my compendium of the trilogy that's like written on Bible paper and has a vellum cover. It's so good. But
You can see how like Giddy's getting about it.
yeah, it's a good book. And they're good. By the way, Peter Jackson's movies, both the regular and the extended cuts, it's fantastic. But we have a big problem in mainstream fantasy right now where a bunch of people who don't actually like fantasy have been ruining franchises and ruining IPs because of their agendas.
Right. We were talking about this the other day about Dragon Age Veilguard.
Yeah.
And about how the way that they kind of did the wokeness in it, which for me personally, I think if you're a game developer, do whatever the fuck you want to do to your game, right? And the people that'll play it will play it. The people that won't play it won't play it. You know, if it's successful, good for you. If it's not, well, maybe you shouldn't do that next time. Anyway, the way they put the wokeness in there, I like the way you phrased it. It was almost like the HR lesson in The Office about diversity.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, dude, you know the guy that really likes fantasy? We're gonna get him with this one." You know?
Yeah, it's just like, and I'm not like a big Dragon Age guy personally, but the way they went about it is offensive because it is just a straight up lecture. And what they changed about the Dragon Age universe doesn't make sense in universe. The character they chose to make non-binary, it makes zero sense that non-binary would exist within that racist culture.
Right, and that, and then also, what was it? There was something else, but I can't remember.
And
What else we talked about?
well, I can't capture it right now. I do want to bring up, and
Yeah.
I'm an ally in a lot of ways. I've constantly said this.
An ally to the community.
I'm kind of honestly, between the two of us on this show, I'm kind of a champion of trans rights, if anybody is on this show. But the counterexample of something that really does inclusion and representation super well is Baldur's Gate 3. There's a bunch of gay all over that. People constantly proposition you, and it doesn't really matter if you play our character's sex or not. There's a lot of opportunity to be gay in that game. But it exists in a way of just like, hey, a person operating as they would in the world, and they never push it on you, and they never make a grand stand. They never sit down and lecture you like, actually, you have to do this. It's not an optional same-sex romance. Like you actually have to be gay.
Yeah.
And you're bad if you don't want to be gay. Baldur's Gate doesn't do that, and that's why people didn't come for it off of. Because there's.
I just remembered when I was going to talk about Dragon Age things. You mentioned it before. There's like some group of like thieves guild or something.
Yeah.
That like blames that they think their thievery is okay because they do it against the colonizers. But in that universe, that doesn't make any fucking sense. It's literally just like applying our sort of things to it.
Just the same bullshit that we've been dealing with for really the last 15, 20 years.
Just the same shit with a new like graphics card.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Um,
So yeah, what the real colonizing is people coming into spaces that they don't care about and that don't belong to them, and then fucking it up for the people that do care about it.
yeah, they colonized the video game industry.
I mean,
If you don't-
say it like that, and it makes it sound really stupid, but it's real.
It was a joke, but yeah.
I know it was a joke, and I'm saying that even within the joke, there is truth.
But can I? I'm gonna break us up here for just a second.
Please do.
Because we had a comment on last week's episode on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And also, I had a big question for you, so I figured I'd knock both those out real quick.
All right.
So real quick, we had a comment last week from a longtime fan, Mama Puff. She said, I love this new setup for this one episode. 2 men in chairs.
The Dick Cavett Show.
She said, stolen election again. Hilarious. I'm over all these politics. We have been flooded with so much crap on social media. I'm just so over it. Oof, though, question. I would hope that my friend would not leave the scene and deal with whatever happens. However, if that friend chooses to flee, I had the hope the police would do their job. So I guess she's talking about your passenger dilemma. We still have Dominion voting machines here in Canada. It's crazy. Go Stallions. Love this episode, guys. Thank you.
Woo woo!
Giddy up. Giddy up.
Yeah, minor Stallions news, by the way.
Sure.
They had their fan fall event. Unfortunately, I could not secure press passes for us, so that's why we weren't in attendance.
Yeah, they need to step their game up with that.
We're the only podcast on the planet that's covering
That cares about it, yeah.
So,
Uh,
thank you, Mama Puff, by the way.
Also, so big question, just real quick. I want to get your opinion on this because I was thinking about this last night. Which is funnier? Yeah, I guess like in your opinion, which one's funnier? Or they could be the same amount of funny or whatever. But between the sitcoms, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Seinfeld.
Oh, it's Always Sunny by a mile, and it's not even close.
A lot of people say that, and I'm just don't understand. Do you think that It's Always Sunny could be without Seinfeld?
Yeah, and in fact, like there's almost no lineage. Like It's Always Sunny is a one of one kind of thing. Like
They're the same thing. They're both shows about nothing.
incorrect. Seinfeld is unique and good. Its merit is that it is the sitcom that about nothing. It's Always Sunny, not really a sitcom, first of all. So that puts them in completely different TV genres. It's Always Sunny is a long-form narrative character study of 5 incredibly dysfunctional people. And one of the main points of the show is that it illustrates just how dysfunctional someone can be and still have a meaningful existence. Like, for as outsized and outrageous as any one of the characters is, the main characters, or the people they encounter, let's be frank. And I'd love to be Frank Reynolds, but
Jesus.
he's just so rich. He's really the one that enables any of the other 4's existences, by the way.
Well, he saved the show, right? Because the first season, there was no Frank.
Yeah.
And that had one of the greatest episodes of all time, the crack episode.
But, yeah. So, but like, these people, by all rights, in isolation, there's no way they continue making it in the world. But as a group, collectively, the support that they all have for each other, you get to trace over the seasons. Just, they descend further and further into madness. It's always a game of escalation with these archetypes, these stereotypes. But there are real people that like that exist and just like constantly get away with it, essentially. It speaks, so they're the 2 shows, Seinfeld, Always Sunny, they both speak to fundamental truths about like human nature and the condition of existence, but they're different kinds of shows. And It's Always Sunny sets out to purposefully mock the absurdity of people like that who do exist despite it all.
So are you saying it's apple? I'm comparing apples and oranges.
Yes, well, yeah, I'm saying that, and then also in the question of which one is funnier, Seinfeld's not even a comedy.
It's a sitcom.
It is not written to be funny. There aren't jokes in the show. There's never like jokes or punchlines or anything that is existing in comedy with that show.
Yes, there is.
There can't be. Otherwise,
Jerry does like a little stand-up bit every episode.
stand-up isn't even really comedy. But I don't know if we want to have this discussion.
It's called stand-up comedy, guys.
Yeah, it's a misnomer. Okay, it pretends to be comedy when it's something else entirely. Always Sunny is written on purpose to be funny, to be humorous, to make fun of things. It's a difference between a show about nothing versus a comedic show. So obviously, the one
I think your opinions are bad on this.
I'm not the first. I'm not even the first person to say this kind of thing. So,
All right, I'm not saying you are.
but yeah, in terms of which one is funnier, like I'm gonna go with the comedy instead of the the situation. Essentially a drama. Seinfeld, hot take. This is me paving new ground here. Seinfeld is a dramatic sitcom.
I think they're both funny.
Okay, yeah, totally.
Doctor.
Doctor. Wow. You know what's not funny?
What's not funny?
They're gonna stop separating church and state in Oklahoma.
yeah. What's that about, Doug?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
So the Oklahoma State Legislature, I think, is the one that decided this, but they're gonna mandate going forward that every classroom in Oklahoma, at least the publicly funded ones, every classroom must have a Bible in it.
Okay. 2 questions. Are they going to put Bibles in like kindergarten classrooms? You know, with kids who can't read.
Yeah, that's probably a classroom, so I would imagine so.
That makes no sense for those kids because they can't read. Second of all, are they going to include the Book of Mormon in there?
Yeah, well, they really do need to.
Just like hotel rooms, you know?
Yeah. We're also going to need some Torahs and some Qurans up in that piece.
Okay, the Bible includes the Torah, but yeah.
Well, not always.
You can get just a copy of the New Testament
Yeah.
by itself.
Well, and also there's translation differences even.
Well, yeah, but like, I mean, are the kids going to learn Hebrew? Let's be real.
Well, there needs to be the representation.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
otherwise, it becomes a de facto state-sponsored religion,
Yeah, it does.
which is not cool.
Which is the same problem we had last Christmas. Do you remember that?
Remind me.
Was it Iowa or something? They had like a bunch of Christmas decorations in the state capitol, but then somebody put up like a pagan satanic thing, and somebody came and destroyed it. Remember that?
Okay, that was a little different.
But still, it still shows that the state supports Christmas but doesn't support this other religion. Which, I mean, yeah, Satanism, not a great look. Not a good look, guys, to use that one. But in the theory of it, yes, the state should not be supporting one religion.
Yeah.
Although Christmas is kind of a secular holiday at this point, so I mean...
Oh, we're taking it back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's... Y'all can't have it anymore. It's just for us. It's for Christians, damn it. Celebrate the solstice or something if you want to be different.
Yeah. How about that?
But, yeah. So that's...
It's Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah. As important as it is to me that Christianity doesn't die out, which it's in danger of doing, most persecuted group of people in history. But you can't just support the Bible. If you're gonna put it in something that is supposed to be for everyone, which public education is supposed to be for everyone, then you have to equally represent everybody. Which is why you shouldn't go through the effort of forcing the Bible into classrooms, because there's too many things to represent. We're going to get caught up in representation and ignore what needs to be happening, which is education.
Yeah, we're going to put
1 in
like...
5 Americans can't read, guys.
We're going to put like a Hindu idol in every classroom. We're going to do everything, because like, you can't just have one.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Hindu is a great pivot point for something that I didn't realize I needed to bring up. We talked about about a month past, I think now, we talked about how India is having a really big problem in Canada.
Sure.
Canadian.
India is having a big problem in Canada, or Indians?
So, this is the real story. India is having a big Canada problem. We covered it as Canadians are having a problem with Indian immigration. I learned more, and I'm going to have to learn more, but this is really intense.
I'm glad you learned more.
Turns out that the biggest problem with Indian immigration to Canada isn't the amount of people that are coming or what they're doing to the economy and the job market. They've completely migrated a regional dispute, like one that could involve separatist states.
Like there was an argument going on in the country of India with these people, and now that they've moved to Canada, they've continued the argument in Canada. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, to the point of murders and riots and all of that. So, essentially,
Making other countries deal with their problems.
Yeah, so essentially within the landmass of India, the Indian subcontinent and the nation of India, there is a very large and very violent group essentially trying to create a separatist state, an entirely different nation. The main religion of which is Sikhs, which, I mean, they're kind of...
And Sikhs are a real minority in the world, but there are some real Sikh people.
Yeah. But, so this nation that wants to exist, Khalistan, the Khalistani movement, essentially, and they're an ethnicity too, so it's one of those type beats.
Yeah, like the Kurds or the Catalans in Spain.
But a large portion of Khalistani have been part of this Indian diaspora into Canada, and the ongoing racial tensions also transferred over. So there's bog standard Indian that we know about and Khalistani that have all moved en masse to Canada. And so not only is it suffocating their job market and their housing market and all the things that too much immigration does, they brought over this fucking race war.
Awesome.
So
One of your exports, race war.
absolutely.
Well, that's awesome.
Just a wild, wild situation overall.
And if we're talking about crazy things going on, moving over to more of my sphere
Please.
is the Twitch adpocalypse.
Adpocalypse.
I think we've already covered this before a bit, like with YouTube.
Damn, son. Where'd you find this?
Like we talked about the YouTube adpocalypse and how they dealt with it, with the monetization and demonetization.
Real adholics.
But on Twitch, people are now feeling the effects of the adpocalypse. Like last month, it was happening, but there was like a deal for the month of October, so nothing like happened yet. Now that we're in November, people are now seeing their ad revenue cut by like 80%.
Jesus.
Some people are having like their ad revenue used to be like $100, $200 a stream. Now it's down to like $15.
Hey, you can't even go to McDonald's for $15, for real.
Not really. I mean, you can, but I mean, you're gonna get one thing. Anyway, so the adpocalypse is here. It's now.
Right here, right now.
If you want to watch like a full in-depth, like, well, not that in-depth, but if you want to watch like a video about it, I think Ludwig made a video about it on Mogul Mail. I think that's the only video that I saw, and he said he saw that he had to make a video about it. That's like the only video that really covers the situation like fully. But essentially what happened is Asmongold got banned because he talked about some shit about Palestinians. And then there's all these other streamers that don't talk all this crazy shit about other people. They didn't get banned. So
what are we doing here?
So advertisers are scared. Twitch is like, oh shit, and now they're dealing with the consequences. And Twitch needs to come up with a system that can make advertisers happy, so that they can put the advertisers on content that they want to put it on, and so that Twitch can still have that other content, but advertising won't go on that or whatever. So they got to figure out their way to do that, like YouTube did. And I just think that it's kind of funny. I think it's funny watching people cry about money. Because, like, there's this one streamer, his name's Lacey. And
is he even a Twitch guy? I
Yeah.
thought he was on Kick.
the guy I saw was on Twitch. He had a subathon recently, and he was making like 10K in ads a day.
Jesus.
But I mean, his streams were like 48 hours long. Like, he was subathoning, you know? So, like, there was a lot of ads being played. But now he's getting like 2,000 in ads, and he's complaining about it. He's like, guys, if I don't make more, I'm going to become a mailman. And being a mailman makes like 47K a year. I think 2,000 a day is way more. So, brother, people are like making fun of him on Twitter or I guess on X for.
Wow,
for
it sounds
crying
like
on-
he should be murdered. That's what I think. Talking shit about the United States Postal Service.
No, he didn't talk shit. He said he wanted to become a mailman.
You don't sound like much of a man to me. He's crying about making $2,000 a day.
Yeah, so I just thought that was really funny. And then, but the adpocalypse is real. It is happening. For all my fellows on Twitch that are suffering from it, I feel bad for you. For me, it's not really a problem. I don't know if I even make revenue off of ads because I am not a partner. So
Were you at one point, or did you?
I'm just an affiliate.
Okay.
But like partners are the ones really suffering. But I mean, come on, guys. Some of these people have so much money already. Like, why are you complaining this much?
Damn.
But hopefully they can fix the situation.
Do you know who else is really suffering? People who want fair and legal elections. Okay.
True. We kind of covered this last week, but yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to cover it some more. Because now we have Pennsylvania Democrats coming out and just bold-faced admitting, yes, we're going to count illegal ballots.
We want to win so bad that we are going to count illegal ballots.
I mean, that's what they're doing. We have a quote here from Bucks County Commissioner Diane Ellis Marseglia.
Marseglia?
It's some fucking Italian bullshit. I'm going to restrain myself. I could go on a massive Italian tangent. Not going to do it.
Why would you? What? Just
They killed Christ, okay? I have a bone to pick. And they want to sit in the Vatican and pretend like they have any authority to talk about my Lord and Savior.
That's hilarious, dude.
Anyway, Diane, this is what she
Not
had,
my Roman Empire.
This is what Diane had to say about it. This is a direct quote. I think we all know that precedent by a court doesn't matter anymore in this country. Just straight up saying that there's no such thing as rule of law. Okay.
Hell yeah, brother.
After spending 4 years prosecuting my president, now all of a sudden the courts don't matter.
Yeah, precedent of law doesn't matter. Okay, buddy. You're crazy.
But this is in relation to these.
When the law doesn't go my way, we'll just make it up.
Exactly. Yeah. It's fucking dog brain shit. We all
It'll
know.
never happen.
But this is in relation to the Senate race, in which a Republican is about to win, and they are scrambling to find enough votes to make up the flip. They already had to have a recount because the margin was within the legal trigger for making a recount happen. It was within 1%, so they had to recount it by law, which is a fine way to do it. Absolutely. Why not double check? But they have now straight up admitted to counting thousands of ballots that were, for one reason or another, not admissible. And it's certain things like, it's not even like what you would traditionally think of as voter fraud, where it's just straight up a fake vote. There are certain things under the law, like if a ballot is not properly postmarked, or if it's not postmarked to the date in which a ballot was allowed to be postmarked. Things that disqualify it under the law. Things that, when challenged previously by Republicans in that state, the judge said, well, since it doesn't fall under the law, we can't count it. When Republicans really wanted those votes to
So
be
that's
counted.
that's the legal precedent she's talking about.
Yeah. So it's a precedent that Democrats in Pennsylvania have used to deny Republican votes in the past. But now that it's not in their favor, they're like, oh, actually the law's bad. Actually the law's bad.
The election was stolen, dude. I'm just saying.
I mean, we're on the record as at least representing the people who think it was stolen and making sure that their voices are heard.
Yeah.
But this also falls under what I said last week of, we've been over this for the last 4 years, we've been over this in the courts. Like, just because you don't like it doesn't mean that that's not the way the election went.
Right. And speaking of how the election went, Trump went to the White House this past week to meet Biden, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Biden has never looked happier.
Biden
has never looked happier.
happily shook hands with literal Hitler.
He had the biggest smile on his face. He had a shit-eating grin on his face.
Another Irish bastard. Yeah. Shouts out to my Irish.
shouts out to Joe.
I love Joe Biden, the guy. I hate what he's done in this world, and I hate him as a politician.
But think about it. So, a lot of people are saying that he voted for Trump.
He probably did.
Like like a lot of people theorize that he smiled like that because he voted for Trump and he doesn't. It's like a final fuck you the Democratic Party because they dropped him, you know. But at the same time, there's this other theory I heard, and then there's a theory I have. So there's a theory I heard that that maybe it's kind of like senioritis, you know, like he knows it's over. Yeah. It's his senior year, and you know, and he knows he's going to graduate, so he's gonna live out his time, and then he's gonna go retire and go hang out at the beach like he always likes to, you know, with his family and have a great time. be rich off all that Ukrainian money. So, you know, good for him. But then I have another theory.
Okay.
He's smiling because he knows what's to come.
Oh yeah. What's that?
On January 6th of 2025, Joe Biden will incite a riot at the Capitol building. Just kidding. But like,
I'm in favor of that. I want that. I hope that happens.
but yeah, that's my theory of why he was smiling.
Dude, can you imagine, dude? All the pink-haired limos wearing their pussy hats.
Could you imagine Joe Biden like giving like a rally in DC?
It's gonna go like this. Everybody knows that it's supposed to be a black lady, so go kill him or something. I don't know.
Everybody knows that Congress is mostly made up of those dang old Republicans. Get in there and show them what's right.
I'm gonna apologize for not eating ice cream. Who has my comb?
Guys, you guys should all go get some chocolate chip.
And then Big Justice is gonna show up with the double chunk chocolate
Cookie! Oh, dude, that would be the biggest crossover in history. If the Costco guys showed up at the Biden rally before he goes out of office. But yeah, that's my theory why he was smiling so much. He was so happy to have Trump because he knows what's to come.
Dude, that would be like up there with the dumbest and most retarded things that could happen politically. So I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah, I'm kind of here for it, dude.
Another really dumb and retarded thing that happened in politics happened over in our sister nation, New Zealand.
That's our sister nation.
I mean, essentially, it's the only other place in the world that does pharmaceutical ads.
You know how I was going to weave that?
I mean, you're weaving it out, brother.
But you were talking about Lord of the Rings earlier. I was going to be like, yeah, you know where that was filmed? and then we were going to go into it.
God damn.
But yeah, so New Zealand. Yeah, what's going on in New Zealand, brother?
So, I'm just going to come out on the record and say the haka has got to be some of the most loser gay-ass shit of all time.
Okay, so you tweeted about that, and I don't know what that is.
Yeah. It's like kind of acceptable.
Is it a Hakatua?
Hakatua. Vote on that thing. The Dems didn't do that.
Oh my God.
10 million missing votes.
Speaking of which, I saw a crazy TikTok just a little bit ago about Hakatua. It was Jar Jar Binks and what was Liam Neeson's character?
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn. And he was like, you have done us a great service. I must now give you the Hakatutu. and then Qui-Gon Jinn was like, oh, well, it must be a great honor. I guess I will receive it. And Obi-Wan Kenobi was like, you can't do this, Master. We don't know them. He's like, but look at his tongue.
All right. I would normally be ashamed to admit this might be my one chance. I think I probably have the best Jar Jar impression out of anyone besides the original voice actor.
You know what? You have a great meat wad. I can imagine.
No, that's why I have a Jar Jar. Lisa, gonna give you the Hakatua because that's what we do down in Dragon City.
What was their nation called?
They're the Gungans.
The Gungans, yeah.
Down in the Gungan, we give
On
the
Naboo? Is it Naboo?
Naboo.
Yeah.
Deep in the depths of Naboo, we give her the Gakatua to the Gungan City.
The Hakatutu.
Regardless. But so the Haka,
Yeah, the
it's
Haka.
like it's kind of acceptable at sporting events because those are simulated combat. That's what sports are. For anyone who didn't know, all sports are simulated combat. Point blank period.
Oh, go team!
That's why the Olympics matter. That's why any international contest matters. It's a display of strength. So I can get behind, because what the Haka is we're about to fuck you up. We're about to kill you. That's what not even native, because the Maori aren't native to anywhere. But it's what they would do before they fought somebody. They would square up on the battlefield, and they'd be like, this is a song about how we like to eat you after we kill you. And they're also de facto historically cannibals. They're a cannibal tribe of people that continues to get respect to this day because the people who conquered them decided, hey, maybe we don't have to erase you from this planet. People always like to talk shit on colonizers, but it's like, my brother, you only exist to criticize colonizers because your descendants, your ancestors weren't wiped out. They had the mercy to be like, maybe it's a bad thing to cleanse you from this planet. Colonizers are actually kind of benevolent. I'm firmly taking the stance, colonizing is good, and colonizers are good people that are creating a better world through their actions.
I want to make it clear that's a Doug Bennett stance.
Well, it's also kind of your stance too. You just don't know it yet.
I want to make that clear that's a Doug Bennett stance.
Anyway,
I don't think colonizers were that good. They did some things okay, but they did not do other things okay.
so many people who would not have survived in history to the modern day have survived off of the backs of colonizing.
Yeah, I will say that's partially true. Yeah, I'll say
So-
that's a little. There's truth to that.
You know.
But I'm talking more about the stripping the land of its resources and stuff.
Hey, that resources weren't being used anyway. They weren't being used.
I mean, yeah, but now those nations are kind of fucked.
Okay, cool. You know what? I'm going to steal from Sam Kinison here a little bit. All these people that are starving, why don't you move to where the food is? If we really care,
Are we immigrating now?
if we really care about these people, let's show up there with U-Hauls and planes and come where the food is.
Are we really gonna immigrate all these people?
Yeah,
Like something
I mean, they're going to have to.
Trump would deport them all.
And they're going to have to learn the language, and they're going to have to get a job. Like, they're going to have to contribute to the society.
Then there's gonna be like nations in the world that just are empty.
Yeah, why not? We can put all the animals there. Let's.
Yeah, we just make giant farmland.
Yeah, and then it will naturally recuperate.
That would be that. What you're talking about right now is a global society. Like it would almost be like an international, but like national country. Like one country, the world, the Earth, and then we have segregated the planet to be this to be farmland, this to be where people hang out. And, you know,
I mean, if we do it the right way, that is the most humane thing that we could do for the species.
that is a level 1 civilization.
Yes, we need to go up on the Kardashev scale.
Guys, if you remember that reference, thank you for listening.
Yeah, you might have gotten your hands on the vault, to be honest.
No, that's in an episode, but it's far back. So if you remember that, good job.
Yeah, so anyway, the Maori are lucky that they still exist.
Yes. Okay.
And
Sure.
New Zealand is in negotiations with the Maori right now.
I mean, honestly, a cannibal tribe making it to 2024 is pretty crazy.
Yeah, a tribe that doesn't have any historical standing. They have such a short historical standing. Oxford University is older than the Maori. The written history of Denmark is older than the Maori.
And I was bringing this up to you that too. The Oxford University, when it was founded, is also at the same time the Aztec Empire was happening. So
Yeah, so
that's like 1300s, by the way.
they as a
something like
people only have 600 years of history. They're kind of fucking new. They're comparably new to the United States, they're about to turn 250 in 2026.
that. Yeah.
So, New Zealand is in negotiations with the Maori right now. They need to change how that country is set up. And the proposition is this. Hey, how about everybody in New Zealand is equal under the law? Pretty good proposition, right?
Were the Maori not equal under the law?
The Maori are elevated over the entire rest of New Zealand. They have...
Because they're like a protected
Yeah.
group.
They have far more privileges than anybody else. So they have all the rights and then a bunch of privileges. So like, hey, going forward, it doesn't make sense anymore that you have extra privileges. There's been plenty of time. We've been really nice to you as alleged colonizers, even though we've made this country super dope and awesome, and you haven't done anything to contribute to it. We think that going forward, just maybe everybody be equal.
Which makes a lot of sense, right? Make everyone equal. What's wrong
Yeah.
with that?
And the Maori legislative officials not having it. They did a big old...
Well, of course, if you're going to lose your privileges, you're not happy about it, right?
They threw a big old temper tantrum in the New Zealand legislation in the form of a haka. They did the very performative fucking Nancy Pelosi, I'm ripping up the document, gay ass bullshit.
They did the... Okay, you keep saying that. Just
Yeah,
relax.
everyone knows the context of what I'm saying.
Yeah, but just relax.
Okay,
Just
I have
relax.
nothing against
Just
that.
relax.
I have nothing against it. This is getting me heated because
Did they dress in like an African garb like Nancy Pelosi and then fall down?
They didn't go that far, but they did that. Then they started doing their haka in the halls of legislation, an
Right.
inappropriate place to do it. And let's keep in mind that a haka is a declaration of war. It's an intent to do desecrating violence. It's in some ways an intent to say I'm going to kill and eat you. That's not something that people who participate in society and want to make it better do.
It sounds like a warring tribe.
Yeah, so, I mean, just a completely inappropriate thing to take place in the halls of Western democracy as we have it, which is a representative democracy, which is the only kind of democracy that's good. True democracy, bad. We've covered that on the show.
Yeah.
Representative democracy I can deal with. I still want a monarchy, but...
Right, we'll deal with it. Because, I mean, at least it's something. You know?
But yeah, I don't mind the song and dance and the symbolism when it comes to like shows of strength, like in sporting, or it is also moving. I've seen funeral hakas, like a sending off of a fellow soul.
Sure.
That can be kind of cool. It has no place in the halls of a representative democracy.
It does not, because that's basically secession.
So hopefully New Zealand brings the hammer down on them and they realize that they can either continue existing peacefully or that they actually don't have a place on this planet. You know, the choice is really up to the Maori at this point whether they want to die or continue living.
I don't know about all that, but
This
yeah.
is officially an anti-Maori podcast.
I don't know about that one. Let's not go that far, but I will say that, like, they shouldn't be declaring war in the legislature building and not face consequences.
So,
Like, that is obviously a consequential action, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, imagine, basically imagine in our Congress, if we said something and then, like, the Puerto Rican representatives started, like...
Did a samba.
I don't know about that, but, like, they, like, started saying, they're going to declare war, like, it's like, okay, bud, well, you fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, a closer one, and a shining example of preserving quote-unquote indigenous cultures, which there's not one lineage on this planet that's actually indigenous to North America. But an example, a counterexample of it's been done the right way, American Indians successfully negotiated and have continued to participate in the continuance of this nation.
And they're somewhat protected status.
Yeah. And they get to do gambling.
Yeah, they get to do
run-
whatever they want, basically,
Yeah.
on their land.
So that's an example of this is how you actually do stuff and what the Maori are doing right
And
now.
it's not a great way to handle it. Like, to do the reservations, it's not the best way, but at least it preserves the culture.
Exactly.
And if the Maori had that going on in New Zealand, they would not be the status that they are now. So they need to think about, like, what they are. Like, I think if they were just equal, like New Zealand
Yeah.
wants them to be,
That's pretty good.
yeah, that's pretty fucking good.
It's a better deal than the American Indians got.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're not relegated to a certain land and all this. You know, you're allowed to do what you want. You're allowed to be like everyone else.
Yeah.
Which American Indians are also allowed to be like that, I believe. But like the government gives them money.
Yeah, most of them are. I'm going to say this. The sad thing about what has happened to American Indians writ large, and there's like at least a dozen different tribes that are still existing today. One of them, we could go and get to one of them in 30 minutes. I don't know
Yeah,
if you knew
no, I know
but
that. Yeah, and they're scary.
a little bit.
I've heard they're very scary.
Yeah, don't mess with the Weavers. But one of the sad things is, and for me, a language nerd, a lot of the American Indian languages are dying.
Yeah,
So
I'm sure they
many
are.
aspects of the culture still survive, but the words themselves.
yeah. Because I think you loved World War II, so you know the Navajo language was used to
Yeah.
like encrypt messages because no one knows what that fuck that is.
The code talkers, the wind speakers.
Yeah, so like
Yeah, Germany did not know what was happening.
there's definitely some reasons to keep these languages alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to preserve them in general, but also they could be useful in some ways. Yeah, so it is sad that those languages are dying.
You know what else is sad and about to die?
What's that?
The at Omni Liberal Destiny. The
Destiny's gonna die?
yeah, dude, he's in danger right
Okay,
now.
first off, for all of the listeners that don't know, if you don't know Destiny, can we
Which
get a
is
short,
most people who don't is
can we get a short description of Destiny?
yeah. So
Because to me, he is such a fucking nerd.
I'm gonna do this very charitably.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna spend the rest of the segment pounding on him.
So
Destiny
Are you gonna pound him?
is one of the more notable political leftist presences Mostly on Twitch. He's a Twitch streamer. He's a
Yeah.
political streamer. He does a lot of time in left-leaning or leftist politics. I mean, he's more of a neocon than anything, but
But like, dude, he's like such a nerd.
he is a
Like,
real
the way he
big nerd.
debates is just.
He's part of the whole, like, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, internet school of debater.
But he's kind of like a. But
Where if you can talk fast, that must mean you're smart. And therefore, you win just because you can say more things than the other guy.
He's kind of an actually guy.
Actually,
Like, I don't know if he actually says that, but he seems like that kind of guy. And I saw a debate he did once where he was like, it was him versus some conservative guy, and the conservative guy was like, something like, all those Democratic voters are in those cities, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, well, that's where all the economic money is being made. And then you made the point of, yeah, but where does all that money go? It doesn't go back to the city. So maybe Destiny is full of shit.
yeah, no, he is absolutely full of shit. And he's a dumb little bitch that nobody should listen to, because the major thing that defines his existence in this world is the fact that he's a cuckold. He's a big old cuck. He had his wife stolen from him by and it's hard to be inferior to Destiny. He still had his wife stolen by an inferior man. I will say that that's not the guy you want to get cuckolded by if you're into cuckolding at all.
Who's that guy that likes cuckolding? That we talked about? Sneeko? Was Sneeko a big cuckold?
No, Sneeko's not a cuck.
There was some guy we talked about the other week that was like, he talked about how he saw his wife getting fucked in some sort of thing and like was like okay with it, and everyone was like, dude, what are you talking about?
I mean, it could have been Destiny for all. This is not the first time we've talked about him.
I don't think it was Destiny. It was some other guy.
Anyway, This guy sucks a lot of ass. He lost it. He couldn't even stay in a cuckold arrangement. That's how much of a cuck Destiny is.
And
he straight up lost his wife. He's no longer married.
She was just like, dude, I don't even want you watching. Just get out of the room.
No, exactly. It's pathetic. This is a miserable excuse for a human being. And his life is now in danger because Adam Friedland, the Chad, leader of the center left, one of only two masculine presences on the left right now.
Yeah, the masculine presence.
I'm sitting next to the other one.
Hey guys.
But
according to Twitter, to X.com, I am the other.
But he's agreed to go on the Adam Friedland show, and I fear for Destiny's life. He's going to get eviscerated by facts and logic. It's insane.
Now he's going on the show, or he's going on the podcast?
See, that's what we have yet. I think...
Is Nick Mullen getting a shot at him, or is it just Adam Friedland?
See, that's the thing. I don't think... Like, in Destiny, they'd had a preliminary Zoom call on Destiny's stream, and Destiny kind of shots fired a little bit at Nick. I don't know if Nick's going to be allowed to be there. That might be one of Destiny's stipulations. It's still not going to save him.
And it's funny, because I wouldn't say Nick is a right-winger or anything. I would say he's more on the left, honestly.
He's more left than either of us.
Yeah, but he would still... He would just make fun of him relentlessly.
Yeah, so...
Because, I mean, Destiny's that kind of guy.
Well, and this is... Adam himself brought up this point, so I'm going to quote him a little bit here. Because when Destiny was doing those shots at Nick, or trying to take Adam down by comparing him to Nick, Adam was like, yeah, well, no, nobody is as funny as Nick. Everyone looks like a loser next to Nick, because Nick is just that funny. Like, we'll talk about his politics a little bit. I do want to... he is more left than either of us. Anybody who's followed Cumtown or Nick knows that he legitimately cared about Bernie getting elected. That was a person that I was in the past as well.
A lot of people were.
Yeah, the left will never serve me in any meaningful way, so that's why I've abandoned it. But like, yeah, Nick is like way more left than even Destiny. It's gonna be a bloodbath either way. Adam in isolation totally mogged Destiny, and so however it goes down, it's over. It's over for a little bit.
That'll be a good episode.
It's gonna be amazing.
That'll be a good episode.
So watch that space.
That's hilarious, dude.
But speaking of leftism and woke, I got one more thing to talk about.
Sure.
They took too much woke out of Hollywood, actually. We need a little bit more woke back.
In Hollywood.
In Hollywood.
Which is a crazy thing to say, because there's already so much.
Dude, and here's why I'm saying it.
Yeah.
They cut Denzel Washington's big gay kiss out of Gladiator 2.
He was going to have a gay kiss in
No,
Gladiator 2.
he did. There's footage that could have gone in the movie that exists of Denzel Washington doing a big gay kiss to a guy before sending him out onto the battlefield. And, you know, it wasn't such a big deal to be gay back in Rome. It was actually kind of the standard.
I mean, it was huge in Greek times.
But yeah, no, he like, Denzel knew his history. He knew what would be. He made a game time decision. No one asked him to do this. He was just like, yeah, this would happen.
Get out there and kill that
No,
motherfucker.
Yeah, but big gay kiss. And
You know why they take that out?
Why's
You
that?
know why? Because of the Buzz Lightyear movie. That gay kiss between the two women, which was so inconsequential, but like so many people were so offended by it that now Hollywood has decided they're like, we can't do that anymore.
which was the wrong choice. I'm actually a big fan of big gay kisses. Every movie should have a big gay kiss.
Boy, do I have a movie for you. It's called.
Why can't I quit you?
It's called Brokeback Mountain, boy.
And I've seen it 3 times. I love that movie. I just quoted it.
You know what's funny? I've never seen it.
You probably should, dude. It's worth your time. You know, maybe All the Gay isn't gone. I'm really excited for Conclave. I gotta go see that. It's all about the Vatican. We all know that bishops are gay as fuck. So
But that'll be in a different kind of way.
true. I'm hoping for some age-appropriate gayness instead of what we usually see from Catholics.
God dang. Please something age appropriate.
Please, I'm begging you. For once.
I'm down on my knees. I'm genuflecting, please.
Even if I have to be the one to do it, at least it will be age-appropriate.
We're putting you in the movie.
I will fall on that sword. I will take that bullet. So that at least one child can go unmolested by a bishop.
God.
In case you can't tell, I hate Catholics.
Yeah, well, that's too bad they took that scene out of Gladiator too.
Yeah.
That's because we're gonna go see that.
Yeah. Bro day.
Yeah.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Yeah. And also, I do have a lot more here to talk about, but at a certain point, you have to ask for a shot. So, brother,
Is it that time already?
lay it up.
How has it been that time already? What the heck?
This should be a 2-hour show, but you know,
Maybe next time. Maybe next time we'll record for 2 hours.
we could. It would serve the show a lot better, I think. But they're not ready for it.
Yep.
Watcher, listener, I'm paying attention. I'll know when you're ready, and then you'll get it. But until then, part me a shot.
All right. So shots, guys. You already know. We already talked about it. My Twitch.
Twitch.tv/Seth_Nacho411. Type in the chat. He will talk to you.
Streaming on Mondays and Tuesdays. Dead by Daylight usually.
Yeah, that's Munting Monday and Titty Tuesday.
No, it's not munting. That's a terrible thing. If you know what that actually is, that's a terrible thing. I would never do that. But anyway, come check it out. I'm there. For parting shot this week, I actually have 2 because I just thought about one.
Okay.
One is the study of like demons.
Demonology.
Kind of cool.
It's fucking sick, yes.
I was watching some horror histories from this channel. I can't remember. It's like CZ World or something. And he did some videos about some horror movies and they use like the demonology from old texts plus what's in the movie universe. And the old texts I think are cool. It's called the Lesser Key of Solomon. And it's like 5 different books put together about how to summon demons and what they do and what their symbols, this kind of shit they do. Like there's like earls and dukes and marquises and kings and all this stuff of demons that like there's this all lore that I didn't know about. Like who did all this lore and decided all these demons are real or whatever? Like I have no idea.
Well, you don't decide that demons are real.
No. Hold on. But I'm just saying that like the ones they've named, like where did they get all this from? You know?
Yeah, by forming pacts and contracts with them. Like there are multiple great men of history who have had their downfall for not honoring their contract with a demon that gave them power.
Okay. Well, anyway, I think it's cool. I think it's fun to like look at it. It was neat. And then the other thing is, if you live, I think it was Yemisi or something. If you live in South Carolina and you see a monkey around you, don't touch it. Inform the authorities. There was a outbreak of like 40-ish monkeys from a research facility in North South Carolina. They do like vaccine research on monkeys, So just don't touch the monkey, but they're not gonna aggro you. They're docile. I think they're women mostly, monkeys, and they're social. They stick in packs. So if you see them, report it to the authorities so that they can solve this fast and deal with this. And they're cute. The monkeys are cute.
Yeah, they're rhesus monkeys. One of them got already tagged and bagged by some hunters. I can't believe we didn't touch on this story, to be honest. Thank you for bringing it
I just
up.
remember on Brian Shot,
But
just
then-
watch out for the monkeys, and they're super cool. I mean, just
Yeah, I do want to stress they're female monkeys.
yeah.
Women is a word for adult females.
Sorry, they're
Human female.
Yeah. Sorry, they're female monkeys.
Yeah. I just, I'm a staunch supporter of women and women's rights and
You sure are, Doug.
women's place in this world.
Doug loves women.
And the only things in this world that are women are adult human females. So if you're not that, you're something else. So it's a people word, not me policing your language, but whatever. Over here, you already know it's your boy, the Fool's Mistake.
I think it's your best one yet, dude.
Yeah, they're just gonna
117, episode 117. You finally found it.
They're only gonna get better and more like that from here on out. You know what I do on social media, therefore you know where to find
The
me.
repost king on TikTok.
Bing, 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 bing. A lot of good things in the future. I'm really starting to dial in my essay on pornography and its effects in Western society. That might get published by the end of the year, or we might push that to Q1, maybe Q2 of 25. Another thing that I'm cooking up in the lab that's going to be pushed out by the end of the year, you're getting your Elliot Rodger episode. So
Yeah, get ready. Before 2025, there will be an episode on the Supreme Gentleman.
yeah. As far as a parting shot goes, we're going to go a little more fun fact here.
Okay.
And also a little bit of a call out to certain types of people in this world. So languages all come from somewhere. And to be very clear, the English language comes from the language grouping that's called essentially the Germanic languages. This includes some of the ones that are spoken in Greater Scandinavia as of today. English is a lot closer to those than it is to any of the Romance languages. The two.
It just borrowed some stuff from Romance languages.
Yeah, but
Because you have to admit, when the French conquered England, obviously their language imparted some shit on it.
So, Romance languages, most notable ones, a dead one and then two living, Latin, French, and Spanish.
I
So,
mean, there's more, but yeah.
yeah. But if you're going to engage if you are even going to speak and think in the English language, you really need to understand how much that even just the language itself has given to history and the material conditions in which you exist. Without the people behind the English language, you wouldn't even have the ability to criticize the society and culture in which you live. So if we're going to start talking facts and origins of things, let's be very clear about where the origin of essentially all Western thought comes from. It's time to stop doing denialism and stop rewriting history. The West has won, and the West will continue to win. And if you don't like it, I welcome you to move somewhere where the West isn't. Start speaking a language that isn't of the West. Get on board or get the fuck out.
Would you say Slavic?
Yeah, we also need to, if we're going to rewrite anything, we need to start putting some respect on Slavic culture as well.
Would you say Slavic language West is West?
I mean,
Because it's Eastern Europe, but I mean it's.
yeah, it could be if people weren't so convinced that Russia bad, or that, Poland. You want to talk about a group of people that's been mistreated by the planet? The Polish people need some damn respect. And I like their video games. I like them a lot. Disco Elysium, The Witcher, Cyberpunk. They're good people out there, and they really need to be elevated. I'm glad we moved away from specifically Polish hatred, but any Eastern European.
The only fact I remember about Poland from recent years is how all of their dignitaries, their president, everybody died in a plane crash a couple years ago.
Yeah.
That shit was Fucking terrible.
But yeah, so the West is a good thing. It is categorically good in almost every way. And it's time to stop giving space to people who would not actually criticize it and who can only criticize it because of what the West has given.
Because they're in the West, yeah.
That's all I have to say on that. You know what else I would have to say? Is the things that I say every time. You cannot abdicate your responsibility. You must chop wood. You must carry water. And most importantly, Chow Hong Chu.
Chow Hong Chu.